Michelle asks, how do I prepare the warm-up? Should it be done in the early morning before I head out? I heard the waiting time is long and no material is allowed in the test center. That is absolutely true, Michelle. You cannot bring in papers, you cannot bring in books, booklets, magazines, none of that. So your printed and photocopied practice problems probably won't be allowed in with you. So the question is, how and where do you do it? If you're taking the LSAT in a more urban setting, then you might have a coffee shop within walking distance or maybe a very short drive from your test center. If you're taking the LSAT a bit farther from home, then you might plot out a spot along your route to stop off and do your practice problems. You might have to do them at home or in the car. And if that's the case, no big deal. The value in the practice problems is simply that the first questions you're doing when you walk in on test day are not the actual problems that count. So if there's an hour-long gap between doing the practice problems and the actual ones, then that's okay. You're still warmed up to some degree, and it'll be enough for you. Now, what do you warm up with? You can warm up with a favorite logic game, a favorite passage, a favorite couple of logical reasoning questions. It doesn't really matter. You want these to be problems that you've done before so that you're not totally freaked out if they don't go well. And you also don't even necessarily want to score them. This is not to measure yourself. This is not to get a sense of where you're at. This is just to get your brain a little bit fired up with a practice run before the actual thing. So don't overthink this. If you can't do it for some reason, it's not the end of the world. But sometimes people score slightly worse on earlier sections because they're not quite warmed up yet.